Okay then, thanks. Have you been busy this morning?
Yes, I was taking a lot of classes, and then I did intense workout, I guess. Yeah, rigorous workout. Then I took an ice bath
Oh,
later
lovely.
on. Yeah, I often
Did
take that. I was supposed to ask you that, Andrea. What's your take on it? Do you do that as you are a person who's been, having too many things and you do a lot of things like physically,
yeah.
climbing mountains, running marathons, cycling, swimming. What about ice baths?
I've done well. I did a tough mudder once, and there was a big part of the tough mudder was to slide into like a big box of ice, and I was
Hmm.
quite reluctant to do it, but I did it with the family, and they're like, "Oh no, no, we need to do it. We need to do it." So I've done that, and it was quite interesting. I sort of like looked back at some of the TV programs I've watched, and they say that when you go in, your heart's going to change rate, you're going to panic. And I sort of like was doing some self talk. It's like, no, breathe, you will be okay. And then the man supported me. So that's the main ice submersion that I've done. I've done cold water dipping in preparation for one of my events, but I haven't regularly done ice baths. I've started to take colder showers, and I find that quite invigorating and refreshing. When I've done the cold water dipping, I don't know if you think this as well, but when I was in there and then I come out, it was like I'd just been for a really good run. So it was that same endorphins, feel good feeling after dipping that I would get from a run. Have you found that?
Yes, I have. Today itself, I was listening to a podcast while doing this workout thing, and there was also this mention of ice bath. The host asked that lady, she was a psychologist or psychiatrist, that do we really, the human beings get affected because of ice bath? Is it good for mental health? If I tell you that, and the lady said that I don't have that much of knowledge. However, when I did that, it was really something exceptional. I found something changed inside me.
Yeah.
So now I get the idea that why people are being addicted to, taking ice.
I don't know if some people are becoming addicted. Some people sort of like still go, you can buy them for your back garden. So you can buy
Mm.
little tubs. My husband did buy me one for Christmas, and we don't usually buy each other gifts. And I've said, what have you done buy me this? You've gone off piste. And I was like, no, we'll send it back. I didn't want one in my garden. I'm quite fortunate. I'm about a 40-minute drive from the beach. So I'd prefer to be do it outside in the pure outside than in my garden. But no.
Oh, intriguing. And my audience, I would like to tell my audience that Andrea, uh, you are a lady that you have spent majority of your time doing physical activities, like from your childhood. Prior to podcast, we talked about that she has done all sort of things, physical activities, and even today also you have been doing a lot of things. You are having your hands in multiple pies. So how do you deal with that, Andrea?
I think exercise for me keeps me well. It gives me
Mm.
a focus, and it drives me. The only person that I'm competitive against is myself.
Yeah.
So it's a personal challenge. So I started off exercising, and obviously as a child, we'd go swimming and cycling as a family, do lots of family walks. We were very outdoorsy, and then had my children. And then after that, me and a friend decided we were going to do something called the Race for Life. I don't know if you've heard of that. So it's
Race for life.
yeah, have you heard of that?
No, but it sounds intriguing.
So
Okay.
it's you can run walk, and it's for Cancer UK. So you can
Okay,
raise
got it.
money. So it was a 5K. And at that point, I'd never really ran. I'd used to do 100-meter sprints, but I've never ran, over distance. So me and my friend would meet, and we'd start run jogging together while my son was playing football. And we would do it in the local woods. And as soon as we seen another human, we'd stop and pretend we were just walking because we were embarrassed to do it. So that's what got me going really. And it was that personal challenge and that wanting to move myself and be the best version of me. So that's why I've done it.
And you did something, this thing. If I tell you honestly, this precise thing.
Okay.
I want to know the background story of it. Like how do I say this?
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. Okay. Uh, Watching films about yeah, that thing, and wow. Yeah, enlighten me. 88,000 individuals were there on 1st of June, right?
No, so that's in total the whole time that the
Okay.
race has run. So I'm one of 88,000 people ever since the race has been going that have done it. So that's the Escape from Alcatraz Triathlon, and it happens in San Francisco in America. And I took part this year on the 1st of June. So that involved everyone got on the bus to go to the boat, and there was 1,500 um, triathletes on the boat, all in wetsuits. It was the most bizarre experience. And then they opened the doors, and we were parked right next to Alcatraz, the prison that's
Yeah.
now closed. And we all had to jump out the boat, and then it was a 1.5 mile swim to land, and it was very, very choppy. It was a fast current. There are meant to be sharks in there as well,
Oh,
but they were at the bottom. The great whites are by the Golden Gate Bridge, so I've been led to believe. A few sea lions, I understand, did get involved with some of the swimmers, and then we swam to shore, and it was then 18-mile bike ride up and down the hills in San Francisco, and then an 8-mile run with something called a Sandlander run in the middle. So we'd run onto the beach, and then there was a big ladder, sort of like steps going up. So that was really fun. And my reason for doing it was I grew up watching Escape from Alcatraz films.
yeah. I watched a similar film like that. Okay, still able to pronounce that word. Uh, there was, I guess, the actor in it, uh, the one who played Harry Potter. He was there, I guess.
Daniel
Escape.
Radcliffe.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe.
Sorry, I missed the first bit of what you're saying about Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, no, I guess he played a role in this film. There was a movie, like you mentioned, Escape from this prison.
Alcatraz.
Yeah, Alcatraz.
I haven't watched it with him in it. I've seen him in a prison film, but I didn't know that was an Alcatraz one.
Okay. And this Eastwood is there
Yeah,
in 19. Got
yeah.
it. Got it.
So we
Yeah,
would what?
yeah, continue.
Yeah,
So, first of all, Andrea, you went from UK to the USA for this thing.
yeah.
For wow.
That's what we did. And I went with my husband and son, and then we turned it into a family holiday. So I've done that a couple of times with events. Yeah, I've done that quite a few times. Gone abroad to do different events. I did went to Copenhagen in Europe and did the Ironman there 3 years ago. So that was fun. I did it with some friends as well. So met over there with friends and the family come. So that was quite a nice experience. Been cycling around Belgium with friends as well. And we've done the Inca Trail in Machu Picchu in Peru. So I think if there's an opportunity to include a holiday and an
Wow.
activity, then that's got to be good. Do you
Great.
travel round to do events?
No, I don't do that. I don't travel. Even like outside of like I have never been to outside of India, but in India we travel, but not for events. Yeah.
Yeah. So with
Uh,
your medals, are they all local to you? Local
yeah.
events that you've
There are
done?
local events and virtual events. Like if I participate in a virtual event, what I have to do is I have to record myself like doing 25 kilometers or 50 kilometers of cycling, and I have to upload the data.
Mhm.
And once it is approved, I get the medal for it.
Ah,
So
so
I
you're
part-
doing virtual ones.
yeah,
Ah, excellent. I did a lot
yeah.
of those in lockdown.
Okay. Wow, you did those as well, apart from this one.
Yeah, so in when it was safe to do so in lockdown, they did the London Marathon virtually. So I took part with some friends and we did the virtual London Marathon. So like you, we had to run the 26.2 miles, upload it, and then I got a medal for it.
Wow, likewise. See,
Yeah, it's good. It's a really good way of doing it, and you can track yourself as well.
yeah. And I'm not sure whether which application you used to use, but I was into Strava. I use Strava for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. No, I have got a Strava account, but I've got a Garmin watch. So
Okay.
My Garmin watch creates, well, it shows where I've been. So wherever I just turn it to run or walk or cycle or swim, and then it just logs it for me, and then I can just upload it.
Wow. Nice. Great. Yeah.
Do you have a sports watch?
No, like I used to have, but I sold it. Like it emanates, I guess, something. What do we call it? Radiations. So I thought that I don't want to. I'm gonna go with the normal watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Wow, intriguing. And are you into weights and all sort of things, like hardcore things? Andrea,
Do I? No, I don't do weights. I do like some conditioning and strength exercises. I like Pilates. I know you're a yoga teacher. We spoke about that. But I do like a good stretch. I think when you're stretching, it releases all the good things inside you. And it's just being present and it helps to like balance and realign you. And I always think you feel a lot better after a good stretch.
yeah. And speaking of balance, Andrea, I want to tell my viewers that Andrea is a psychologist and she often helps professional individuals how to get rid of burnouts and how to balance work-life balance, stress, how to manage stress, all sort of these things. So enlighten us. How do I, deal with work-life balance and burnouts?
So when we're looking at work-life balance, it is literally thinking about how much time and energy you're putting into different areas of your life. Because even when you're not in work, there are still a lot of components to life. So, for example, you're a mother, you're a father, you're a brother or sister, you're in a club, you're at school. There's still lots of components. We wear so many different hats. And then when we're in work, you might have different roles with colleagues, and lots of times in work, more and more pressures are being placed on people, and people don't want to say no for fear of losing their job. So you will take it and take it and take it. And it's about thinking about how you want your world to be and what do you want in it and what things are you compromising on. So the work that I do with people, it's getting a whole view of how they've come to be where they are, and how they would like that to change moving forward. So we look at all areas of the person, and thinking about if they are doing too much in one, maybe do they need to spend more time focusing on the other. And it's all about, I always say to people, it's about a toolbox, and it's like an imaginary toolkit. And we all have different strategies that we need to put in our toolkit. About it could be breathing, it could be exercise, it could be just sitting down watching a box set, a binge box set for a weekend. So there's lots of ways of looking at self-care, and it's the ability to switch off and the ability to say no, and setting clear boundaries as well. So they're boundaries for you and boundaries for the people who you interact with. So it's sort of like a constant evolving thing, and burnout is massive. I know in the teaching profession, it's like, how many weeks is it till we finish? Are we going to finish soon? And then as soon as a holiday comes, most staff are unwell because they've been fighting and burning themselves out, late nights, checking emails. And it's those boundaries. And, people have got the choice, and it's hard for people to say no. but it's about learning ways that you can say no and protecting yourself so that when you are on holiday, the first couple of days or the first week of a 2 week break, you're not completely out of it, you're ill and run down.
Apparently, Andrea, I often see this trend in the society that, people kind of romanticize. They kind of romanticize that they are burning the candles at both ends, and like work is worship, this kind of thing. If you take a break, that you are not pushing yourself hard enough, all sort of these things, motivations and all. And I want to appreciate the fact that I have been following Andrea for a while, and I know that she's like a busybody. She does a lot of things, but still, she told me that if you want to expand your podcast for 40 to 50 minutes, I'm okay with it. So I appreciate that kind of honesty, that you are not trying to show off that you are busy all the time. A lot of people, even though if they have nothing to, on their plate, they try to show off that they are too busy to have other things.
Mm.
So that's my take on it. Like, oh, what do you feel about that? This sort of mentality.
I think there are people who are genuinely really, really busy. And it's okay not to be busy as well. There's a time and a place for everything. And if you've got deadlines to meet and the pressures of work, that's real. And it's about thinking about in a very, very busy day, how can I still take time out for me? And that could be having a bathroom break. It could be making sure you take your lunch breaks. But it's okay as well to say, actually, I have got a bit of extra time. I can take that and it is okay, and don't feel guilty about it. And we don't all have to be busy, busy, busy and rushing. And I think if you think you have to show that to everyone that you're always busy, then no one will ever understand that it's okay not to be. And I think we need to lead by example. People will say, how is this going? And if it's going slow, say it's going slow. Or actually, I've still got capacity. And I think when people are honest, as opposed to saying what they think they need to say to fit in, to look busy, to look professional, then I think we'll have more open and more honest conversations.
Um, And what sort of, from your experiences over the period of time, Andrea, that what sort of challenges people, be it in any field of area, are facing nowadays?
I think there's a lot of pressure around. Obviously, we've got the cost of living over in the UK, and people are working so hard, and things are going up. So no matter how many hours you put in, people aren't earning enough to pay the bills. So there's real life challenges as well for people that, a simple conversation and looking at strategies, it's going to be really hard to find that in. And there's so much pressure and stress around that responsibility of education, around, your young people in your family and making sure that they're getting everything that you want your children to have. So there's so many pressures, so like financially and emotionally for people. And it's a really tough time for people at the moment. Just in my world, people, I'm aware of people who've ended their life because things are just too difficult for them, or they're not sure where to get support at the moment. So we're hearing more and more about the pressures that people are facing, and people ending their life because of what's going on for them. So it's I can't sit here to say, oh, just do this, this, and this, because that's not real. It's embedding little tips and tools to maybe help and manage those difficult times for people.
And that's right, Andrea. If you remember, I talked about my aunt, and she lives in Wembley.
Mhm.
Uh, so yeah, she was telling me the same thing, that uh, she's a single woman, and she's struggling really hard, to make the ends meet, because the work pressure is there. She's more than 50, so her body is now, it's not the way it supposed to be because of the age and all, and even the standards of living that you mentioned. So she was telling me that I'm fed up with this lifestyle, and I want to move to India with all the money that I have saved, and I want to live peacefully.
Mhm.
So I guess life over there, it's pretty much, I guess, stressful, and it's
Yeah,
really might be hard.
it is. I think a lot of people who I speak to, they've got lots of different pressures at the moment. But just picking you up on your aunt and her age, there's lots of people who are over 50 that are really, really fit and doing things as well. So,
Mm. Yeah,
so just be careful when you're saying that, because I know so many people over the age of 50 who are, fit and well and doing things. But
definitely.
I do think there is a time where you become aware of your own limitations and you have to adapt things,
Yeah,
and maybe pick different challenges to suit your needs.
definitely. Yeah, in context of that, I would say that my aunt is not health conscious person. She eats like any kind of food, and she never takes care of her health. So
Right.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm just thinking to all the 50-year-olds have been like, well, I can do stuff. It's like, no,
That's
you
so
can't.
no, even my father is like 60 years old, but his health is really tremendous. He does yoga, he does cycling,
Yeah.
and yeah, he looks the same. The way, not like I don't want to exaggerate, but he looks kind of same the way he was 10 years ago,
Yeah.
10 to 15.
And
So
it's
that
like anything, you get out what you put in, don't you? And our
mm,
body is a machine. So if we oil it well and look after it well, hopefully we'll get a few more miles out of it.
Yes, and that's the thing, Andrea. It emanates from you. You know, even your aura. It's really good and positive. So, like I guess somehow it has to do with how healthy you are feeling. You know, if you are feeling healthy, it
Yeah,
affects your mindset.
it does. I know when I've been injured, um, and I haven't been able to participate in like just a general day-to-day exercise that I may choose to do, you feel down, you can feel deflated, because you can't do what you need to do to keep you well. So that's when you look at other things that you can do. So it'd be quite easy to sit there and think, actually, well, I can't do this and feel completely disenchanted. Or you can think, well, what can I do? And it's thinking about what you can do and doing that till there's time where you can do the other things again. So when I couldn't run, after a period of time, I could get back on my bike, and then I could go swimming again, or I would walk the dog, do more. The poor dog got his legs walked off a lot more than what it usually does. But you fit in other things, to adapt. So it's always looking for what you can do, because I think we're very good at saying what we can't do. And it's reframing that and challenging ourselves so that we can achieve everything that we want. I think it's really important.
And what's the role of diet, Andrea, in your life? Do you follow some sort of diet as you do a lot of physical activities?
Um, I've always had well, we've always had my veggies and my fruit, so I'm quite good like that. My downside is the chocolate. So
Wow. Yeah, you Cadbury.
Cadbury's chocolate, yeah. If you broke me in half, it'd just say Cadbury's through the middle. So yeah, I am a big Cadbury's fan. Um, so I think by doing the exercise, that enables me to treat myself a little bit more. And I'm aware that when I'm not exercising, I have to be more mindful of what I eat. But if when you've done an event, it's quite nice because you can eat whatever you want for the rest of the day, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Because you have a good diet as well, don't you?
Yes, luckily I live with my parents, so I always eat home cooked food. Uh, yeah, this chocolate also, I'm a big fan of it. So I eat dark chocolate, sometimes Cadbury also. And yeah, no added drinks, no smoking, no alcohol.
Mhm.
So I follow these things.
Yeah. No, and I think it can show. It's quite interesting, though, isn't it? Because then we'll always hear of that person that smoked and drinked all their life, and then they live to 100.
Yeah.
There's always that person, isn't there? I
Yes.
think everything in moderation, everything in
Mhm.
moderation, the
Yeah, that's
balance.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. And yeah, what about there are some days I'm sure you must can resonate with it. where we don't feel like we want to work out, but we have to do it because it's a part of our life, be it running or like doing push-ups or yoga. So at
Mhm.
that time, like sometimes I used to take coffee so that I get energy and all. So do you do those kind of things when you don't feel like working out?
I don't take. I don't. I'm not a coffee drinker. I drink sort of like more pops to get caffeine from stuff like that. There are
No,
times,
what do you mean, Andrea, pops?
so like Pepsi,
Oh, okay, soft drinks.
yeah, so like Pepsi or Coca-Cola, those type of
Mhm.
things. So on a day where it depends if I've got an event coming up. If I've got an event and I've had a trainer in the past and it's on my schedule, I think, well, am I physically okay to do it? Or is it just me in my head that's telling me I can't be bothered? And if it's a physical, physically I'm not well, then I know that's a day to rest. But if mentally it's like, you just can't be asked, you know, and then you have to dig deep. You do have to dig deep and you have to think of the end game. For example, the training I did for when I did the Ironman, I said to my family that my family had to support me in it because I was going to be away doing all this training. I was out for really long bike rides, really long runs, but I had their support. They bought into it so that they weren't like, "Oh, you're going out again." So I had their support, and because there's that financial investment as well, you don't want to not cash in on your financial investment. So there's more reasons, my family are supporting me. I've paid for this, so I'm going and I will train and to do it. And then usually for myself and most people I've spoken to, when they go out on days that they could not really, where they're struggling or they're thinking, I don't want to go out. By the time you come home, you're really glad you've done it. And then that lifts you up for the rest of the day. But I don't exercise every day. And sometimes it is okay to say, you know what, I'm going to give myself a rest day and not punish yourself about it and know that that's okay. And then give yourself permission because I don't think we're very good at giving ourselves permission to do things.
Yeah.
We beat ourselves up about them and think, oh, I should be doing this. And then you'd be sitting down and see someone run past your window and you think, I should be running. Whereas if you think, no, that's okay, today is an off day, then when you do see that person run past your house, you think, well, that's nice for them, but I'm having an off day today. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
having a no day. So, yeah.
Stop and smell the roses.
Pardon?
Stop and smell the roses.
Yeah, so you just got to, it's how you frame it to yourself and it's about
Mhm.
being kind to yourself. But sometimes it's okay just to not do anything,
Yeah,
but it can take a lot of time.
got it. And when you said that, I was training for that, what's the name, Andrea, for the
I,
Iron.
Iron Man, yeah.
At that time, I was having the images of, Sylvester Stallone training for the Rocky thing. Have you watched those films, Rocky?
Yeah, I love the Rocky film. I grew up on the Rocky films when he runs up the steps at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm no way could I ever compare myself to Rocky. Yeah, he's a very different league. I refer to myself as a have a go mum,
Mhm.
because put me against sort of like people who are even more, into the sport. I go for my own personal challenge and taking part. And I know I'm not going to win events because I don't put the training in. If I did, then maybe I could, but I'm
Yeah.
happy with the level that I'm at and it suits me and it suits my family and I really enjoy it and it keeps me well. So yeah, but no, compared to most people, I'm a back of the pack runner and
Mhm.
I'm quite happy there. I enjoy that. You get
Yeah.
because you get chatting to people as well at these events because people say, "Oh, who have you gone with?" I say, "I've gone on my own." Really? It's like, yeah, well, you just get chatting to people, and it's quite nice.
Definitely. And I also remember the fact that you told me that it's not just 5 kilometers, it's not just 10 kilometers. It's something, I guess. So that's what you told me, right? That, yeah. So,
It
uh,
is. I think anybody that can get out of bed in the morning, I've worked with people whose mental health is such that the fact that they got out of bed in the morning is an achievement, let alone clean their teeth and get washed and dressed. And it's what anything that moves you forward is a win for you. And I'm all for celebrating wins when I work with people and they're like, oh, I've done this, I've done that. I'm like, have you not celebrated that? What have you done? How have you marked it? If you had either like a special tea or you watch something nice on the telly, just to mark, it doesn't have to be a big all singing, all dancing. But I think it's really important to mark and celebrate small wins. And we don't do that enough.
mm,
Yeah, but for everyone who's saying, "Oh, I've just done this and I've just done that," well, that's more than maybe the next person has, and that's all relative. But no, I never do a just. You've done it.
makes sense. Wow. And Andrea, what sort of like, I'm not sure whether you are into that or not, but are you into films, movies, televisions, like series?
Yeah, I love an action film. I do like an action film. Just started watching the SWAT series on Netflix. So SWAT SWAT.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the SWAT series. And I just like people running around. I think that's just my switch off. When I see other people running around and like, getting involved in situations, that just turns my head just goes silent and I just watch mindlessly. So yeah,
Yeah.
and I also like Marvel. I am Marvel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's what me and my son, when there's new Marvels out, we go to pictures. That's our thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Really? Oh, so who's your favorite superhero in that case?
favorite superhero. I don't know because they've all got different qualities, haven't they? I would probably go one of the last ones. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Um, I like
Okay.
I like Groot, and I know that's not a superhero, but I do like Groot. And I like the child in the Mandalorian. Have you?
Okay.
Is it not the Mandalorian? Who it is? Is it the Mandalorian?
The
No,
child. Mm.
no. See, this is awful. This is where I get confused with me films and everyone. Like, well, you're not that much of a fan, are you? But no, and it on Star Wars. So, which one is it with the child? I know I watched that and I enjoy that.
Mm.
Anything that's not in our reality.
Wow, fantasy.
What
Mm.
do you watch?
Yeah, I'm a big movie buff, I would say that. So on weekends, I tend to watch a lot of films.
Right.
Like lots of
So, which films are you watching, or have you been watching?
recently, I watched. If you wish to, you can go with that as well. As you're a fan of action films, Heads of States, starring John Cena and Priyanka Chopra.
Heads of States.
Yeah,
It
Heads
is.
of
Oh, is that? Oh, that's an actual movie. Yeah.
yeah. That recently came out, and prior to that, what did I watch? Um, yeah, I watched this kind of films. Then recently, I downloaded that Thunderbolts movie, which is kind of similar to this Avengers, I guess.
All right.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
yeah, I'm a big fan of Tom Cruise and Stallone as well, Sylvester Stallone and
Mhm.
Jason Statham. So sometimes I rewatch their films.
I've still got to see the last one of Mission Impossible.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the last one of that yet.
me neither. Me neither.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the only one of them that I need to see. But no, I love a film. I think it helps you switch off,
Definitely. Yeah.
takes you to another world.
Mm. And even from the perspective of health, like all these people are, really pushing the envelope, be it Tom Cruise, Jason Statham, or Sylvester Stallone. So that makes me happy. The way that Stallone looks, even at this age, more than 75 years, I guess. So it's pretty impressive, and I admire their, efforts towards their health.
It can, because I think it can act that, well, if you see people who look and feel a certain way, it gives you some
Yeah,
hope. And you think, well, if they can do it, then I can do it.
yeah, definitely. And we don't have like I don't have that much of pressure that those guys have, like making this kind of films and all
But
sort
wouldn't it
of
be
things.
fun though? It's a great life. It must be a great life. Lots of different pressures, obviously
Yeah.
different pressures to our pressures, but
Hmm.
it must be a fantastic career to have.
Definitely, definitely. And I would recommend you to watch that film. Yeah, that was the last film that I watched. I forgot. Ballerina. That is a part of John Wick series. Ballerina.
Ah, it was interesting when we were in LA, they were having the premiere there
Oh,
uh,
okay.
for that one. We haven't seen it yet, but they had it all set up with the John Wick sign and stuff. And we're like, oh, I wonder if we'll get to see it. But no, we haven't seen it. I do like the John Wick. I love the fact that they've got a blue staffy because I've got a staffy and it just looks like my dog. And we're like, oh, and he really loves his dog.
Yeah.
John Wick loves his dog.
Yes, definitely. And even the health of Keanu Reeves at this age, that's also really commendable. He's, I guess, 60 or something.
Yeah,
And yeah, so this kind of people, they like I'm really into actors and all. So it makes me happy, that if, like you said, if they can do it, we can easily do that.
definitely. Yeah. I think it's nice to have people who you think, not necessarily that you look up to, but you think, well, actually, yeah, they've done something right. And if I follow, things the way that I can in my budget, in my world, then yeah, I can have, a healthy life. And that's what it's
Hmm,
about, isn't it? It's not only your physical health, it's your mental health, and they are so
definitely,
interrelated, so interrelated.
definitely. Yeah. Uh, and in the light of what you are saying, Andrea, that most of the people that you do work this workshops with, and the guidance that you give, uh, do you find like the people like who has this sort of like mental issues or no, are they actively like are they active when it comes to physically?
Yeah,
Do they live an active life?
I think there's a good mix of people. I don't think you could say there's a correlate. Well, for me, I've known people who are very, very active that still struggle with their mental health, and people who are inactive that struggle with their mental health. So, um, the people who I know who have been very active, they use that as a tool to maintain wellness, and they really are aware that when they're not active, that's when their mental health can deteriorate, or some of their signs and symptoms of mental health will be more apparent. Um, but I think for some people who aren't active, if they've never known being active, then it must be hard to notice the difference between the activity and your mental health. And that's why I think there's sort of like more walking groups and things that I know in the UK, we have something called networking. I don't
Yeah.
know if you've heard of that, where you'll be meeting other people and you're walking. That seems really popular. There's also net cycling as well. So you can meet people on bikes and meet up with people. So it's about being active, because I think even just walking to the shop as opposed to driving to the shop, getting off the bus, a stop before, again, it's just getting that momentum. But I think mental health is such a continuum, and
Hmm.
we all are at different points on it, depending on what's going on the day. And it can change throughout the day as well. You can wake up really well and something can happen and you can feel quite flat. So I think everyone's mood does fluctuate, and it's how you look to manage it. And if people are looking to do exercise to manage it, that's great. And if people are thinking, I might consider being more active, or what does activity mean to me, and how would that affect my mental health, I think that's a good way to explore. But some people who've never done any exercise can be very mentally well as well, because they've got different coping strategies. And then you're looking at your nature nurturers, aren't you? Whether it's genetically inside you or if there's external factors going on. So I think we're complex creatures, aren't we, as humans? And there's so many factors and variables to take into consideration. I don't think one size fits all. I've never found that it does. People I work with, everyone comes with their own story, and their
Yeah.
own personal set of circumstances. So yeah, I think it'd be wrong to say that this fits everybody. I work very much on an individual basis.
Wow. Yeah. Couldn't agree more with you. And the thing that you mentioned about walking clubs and all, I have a friend, and she's also from the UK. She's a founder of one such club. Her name is Flora. And if possible, I would love to have her and you together on the show, because she's also a really health conscious person. And whenever I did a podcast with her, and we talked entirely for these things, health and mental health, fitness and mental health and all sort of things. I guess the three of us can talk. So if possible, I'll ask
Definitely,
her.
that'd be fun.
She's a founder of this club, like you mentioned, walking club, walking and talking club, so something like that.
Yeah, so you'll have to hook us up if she's in the. No, that would be good. So with your teaching, do you find that with your students that you're teaching English to, do you find a relationship between the sort of like activity levels and their engagement in study? How have you found anything with that?
If I tell you honestly, Andrea, I mostly deal with working professionals. Earlier, I used to deal with children, but when it comes to working professionals, and most of my students are like me, they are really into this meditations and health things, and so most of my students, I don't know why, but they are kind of like just like me. So even with them, also I talk about these things, health and fitness and all sort of. So they are really jubilant people and they are full of life. Yeah. So luckily, I have some good students with me.
Good.
So yeah, sometimes when I'm not, prior to if I'm feeling down, and once I turn on my laptop and once I meet them, that energy comes inside me. So
Yeah.
those kind of people are there. So I'm lucky to have the students.
Yeah. Sounds like you've got some good people around you. Yeah, I think that's important, our sort of like our social network and people who we work with. And I think the work I do when I are working with people one to one and help people move forward on a journey, and you can see how far people have come, as well as like workshops. I love it in a workshop because when I'm doing a workshop, I measure it's like people's understanding at the beginning, and then we'll do the workshop, and then I measure their understanding again, and you can see the distance traveled just in a very short workshop. And you think, I've actually added some benefits. Someone's going to be leaving with, either a strategy or a tool or a new piece of information that they didn't have maybe 2 hours ago that they can take forward into their life. So that's quite a privileged position to be in, I think.
And as you have conducted like a gazillion of workshops, and yeah, I often see that. So, what's the common thing, that bugs most of the people nowadays? The one thing, or more than one thing?
I think I'm noticing an increase in neurodiversity in the workplace because in the UK, more and more adults are being assessed and diagnosed as neurodiverse. So that's bringing in lots of challenges in the workplace, as well as personally for people, because people want to understand what the diagnosis means to them, how it'll impact them. And employers, not all employers, but some employers aren't quite sure about reasonable adjustments, how to get the best out of their workforce. So that's where I offer support and guidance in understanding what the diagnosis means to that person, but also educating and supporting the workplace so that you can get the best out of your teams. Because I think if you invest in your teams, then people aren't going to leave. You've got good retention, you've got happy staff, you've got productive staff. So it's a win-win. I think I was looking at a figure the other day, and that for every pound that a company invests in their one member of staff, regarding their well-being, they'll get about £4 back. So if you're looking at a cost-benefit equation, it's really worth investing in your staff because you're going to get that back and some. So I think neurodiversity is a big one. I think stress and burnout is massive. I think when people are leaving jobs, they're not getting replaced and other people are absorbing their role. So people's roles are mushrooming and they're not sure how to manage that. And then looking after yourself, we've got people maybe working silly hours answering emails at night, not because they want to, but they feel they have to. And that's not to say the employers told them that they do, but they feel that they have to. So it's quite, people are really complex. I think there's a lot going on out there. How about your side? What's going on in your area?
It's the same, Andrea. Like a lot of people, they have the same issues, burnouts. Then a lot of stress has been going on. The living standards are increasing. Things are getting costlier, and lots of other things like there's constant negativity, be it on news or be it on newspaper, and even in the surroundings. So people are having a tough time, and yeah, and a lot of people they are into junk food. So when it comes to that, they don't eat right food because of that their health is deteriorating and yeah this sort of things most of the time they just try to make it till the weekend and then again there's Monday blues so yeah it's there.
Yeah, people just crash and burn then, don't they? You finish at 5, whatever time you finish on Friday, and then you can't
Yeah.
function all weekend because you're just so fatigued.
Or people who are addicted they would have 3 cigarettes rather than one so they would try to avoid the situation they would rather get high and do those kind of things to tackle the stress or challenging situations.
Yeah, yeah. No, I've done work with people with drug and alcohol addictions in the past, and it's quite interesting how things can escalate and how people can find themselves in situations. Um, Quite inadvertently, you find yourself, gosh, I have got a drinking problem, or I have turned to drugs, or whatever people's coping strategies are.
True. Yeah. And even I was like, I'm not drugs, but due to workout, due to a lot of work and all, a few months ago I got addicted to energy drinks. But yeah, then I stopped doing it. Rather now I consume honey rather than like the energy drinks, be it Red Bull or
Yeah,
Monster.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've never actually had a full can of energy drink. I think the most I've done is a sugar-free Gatorade. um, yeah,
Yeah, Gatorade. This thing is also energy drink, right? Gatorade. Or
Gatorade is, yeah,
yeah, got it.
yeah.
Uh, like
But that's when I've been doing long distance events.
mm,
I've used Gatorade, but I've trained with it to make sure that my body doesn't react negatively to it. You don't try anything new on race day, so I've made sure. So I've used Gatorade, and that's got me around some really long distance events. But that's the only time I've used that.
yes. And all right, Andrea. I guess I won't hold you any longer, although you have given me permission to talk till the cows come home. But I don't.
No,
I'm gonna.
that's
Uh,
fine. No, it's been lovely chatting to you today. Thank you.
yeah, and I'll make sure if possible I'll bring Flora also into this conversation.
Yeah, just
And
drop us a message, and
sure.
it'd be nice to find out a bit more about what she does. What have you got planned for the rest of the day?
For me,
Hmm.
I'm gonna be teaching. Yeah, just after this class, like after a few minutes, I'm gonna be back to teaching. And yeah, that's it. Till night.
Brilliant. Have a busy day and good day.
Yes, you too. You too. And take care, Andrea. Thank you for sparing some time out of your schedule, and it means a lot to me. Thank you. And
Likewise, it's good to
keep in
chat.
touch.
All right, bye now.